Hi there, Michael Bovee with Consumer Recovery Network. Thanks for tuning into DebtBytes, our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do something I rarely do on our videos. I'm going to cover a current event rather than such a broad, generalized topic. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, as I'm recording this, it's July 2017, a report came out in a major newspaper about National Collegiate Trust, which is a private student loan purchaser, right? So all of these major banks that make private loans, Wells Fargo, Chase, Discover, all these different private student loan lenders will often sell their loans into this securitized trust, right? And National Collegiate Trust has its investors and whatnot. Now, that's about $5 billion-ish of student loans that they manage. And as you're aware, if you're watching this video and you're interested in student loans and your servicers or the inability to pay, they're all dealt with differently. Private loans have limited options. They don't have the options that federal loans do. And so sometimes you stop paying because you have no alternative. Your loans go into default and they can become collectible and even sue in court. And so the report goes into the issues that National Collegiate Trust is facing when trying to prove that they are indeed the owner of your student loans. They don't have the documents, or at least they're struggling to present them to the court in a way that's consistent with best evidence rules to win their case. Some attorneys are taking on these cases, consumer law attorneys, which there's only a few really sprinkled throughout the country that have the background in this issue to take on and take on effectively. Like one gal in the report had 5 of these or 4 of these cases and she won 3 out of the 4, only lost 1. So maybe they had the documentation on, but they're really struggling. In fact, in the article, the main investor, the main stockholder for NCT, is actually suing the trust itself to stop some of its litigation practices due to the fact that they can't substantiate these loans in court, right? So it's a real issue, and I'm getting calls right now from people and they're asking me, well, listen, I'm current on my loan with National Collegiate Trust, but I saw this news report or I read about this and it's a real issue. How about I just stop paying? And then I'll just challenge them to prove that they're actually the owner of my loan and then I don't have to pay back. And then when I tell them, okay, but you have to be ready to sacrifice your credit. One, you don't know that they're not going to be able to prove that they might turn around and find these documents or that yours are ones that they actually have already. But mainly what it gives people pause is that that's about proving that you owe a debt in court to the level with which the court will grant them a judgment. The fact that you're paying and have been paying and you know that you've been paying and you haven't had a problem with it is one thing, and that's actually an issue that they can use to try and prove their case in court, but that's not what this is about. What if you want to do that? What if you have a $30,000 NCT loan and you don't want to pay it anymore even though you're current? And you do this, right? And you just wait for them to try and sue you so you have your day in court. You're going to sacrifice your credit. And that's what gives people pause, is that, okay, well, what credit goals are you going to have for the next 7 years? Fine that they're not going to be able to substantiate to the point where they get a judgment against you and you can kind of tell them to kiss off if you want. But you are giving up some of your future goals as a result of unpaid, because they're not going to just drop from your credit report just because you stop paying them. More than likely they're going to stay on there, and it's going to prevent you from moving on with your life in ways that are important to a lot of us if we have the financial ability to do that. Now, that's for people that are current. What if you haven't paid NCT for a while and you can't pay NCT for a while more? You're just coming across this video or the issues that they have, but there's already an inability to pay either now or you've already exhibited that because you're in default. You have answers. You can stay out of court by resolving. NCT settles. We have other videos and articles up on our website about dealing with NCT and AES, American Education Services, is who services a lot of the NCT loans. They negotiate, they settle. Private loans get settled, student loans get settled all the time, unlike federal loans that don't really settle per se. And you may just want to ride out the storm, and if you need help and you need resources or maybe attorneys in your state that can do the kind of things that some of those attorneys have in that article, reach out to us. I give free consults, option 4 on the hotline on the screen, get you in touch with Student Loan Resources Live, and then of course you can comment here on our YouTube video and we will answer every day. We look for those and reply to them. See you on the next video.